Hello and good evening, Mr. Bond fans. So I'm just kind of putting together this quick vlog video to update you on some of the Bond-related experiences I've had these past couple of weeks. I'm also going to talk a bit about James Bond Day as well, that teaser poster, and also just to kind of let you know why I'm going to be kind of off-grid for a couple of weeks. So, where to begin? Well, there was, last weekend, there was a pretty amazing, obviously, October 5th was Global James Bond Day, but the week prior to that, the British Film Institute in London, the BFI, had their own version of a James Bond Day, where they screened 3 James Bond movies celebrating various anniversaries. On Her Majesty's Secret Service for the 50th anniversary, Moonraker for the 40th, and The World Is Not Enough for the 20th. So they screened all 3 of the films, and then in between they also had, interviews and panels. George Lazenby himself was there, was being interviewed on stage, and he's just, amazing. He's so unfiltered. The stuff he was coming out with was amazing, and very much uncensored. There were parents sort of shifting nervously next to their sort of 10-year-old kids as he was going on certain avenues of conversation, which was pretty funny. David Arnold was also there, as well as John Glenn. When I booked these tickets, the only person who was actually confirmed as being the celebrity interviewee was David Arnold. And then they put out an email saying the title of the email was "We would like to apologise for any inconvenience this causes anyone, but we're going to have to begin the Majesty's Secret Service screening 20 minutes earlier than advertised because George Lazenby is going to do an interview. We're really sorry for any inconvenience." And it's you're apologising for having the star of the film there as an interviewee. That's not an apology. That's you could have sent that with party hat emojis, and I think everyone would have been okay with it. For me, it was especially cool just to see, I love going to public screenings of Bond films, particularly the classic ones, because most of the time I've experienced these films, by myself or with a couple of mates, and, it's really cool to hear it in an auditorium full of people, and people are laughing, people are getting excited, gasping, chuckling along. It's just, I really love those communal experiences for a James Bond film. It was also just really amazing. I got to meet so many people. I mean, my good friends, A.G. Chowdhury and Mark O'Connell were there, and it's always amazing to see those guys. And then there were just, too many people for me to mention, really. Oh my god, Brian Dobson from James Bond Radio was there, and I finally met him. And Ben Cole, it was so amazing to meet you as well. I know he watches these videos. There were just, literally so many people who were just, really great to chat to, say hi to. It was just a really phenomenal day. And then, of course, October 5th was the actual James Bond Day, and I spent that by going to another public screening of a Bond film. Skyfall has been shown at the Royal Albert Hall, and the very special thing about this is that it was accompanied by a live orchestra doing the Thomas Newman soundtrack for the film, which was really amazing. And I don't know if, it wasn't the exact, because I know that score really well. It's one of my favorites. I listen to it an awful lot, and there were just extra orchestrations, some little differences here and there that just really made it feel like a unique experience, you were experiencing the film sort of almost 50% for the first time. It was really strange, and there were definitely points when I was just getting, because, I fucking love that film, I think it's fantastic, and I was just getting so into the film. And then, because of, how they mixed it, the music was sometimes louder than, the dialogue or the sound effects. And I'm watching the thing and I'm I could barely hear that line. What's the problem? Oh, wait, yes, I'm not really here for that. I'm here for this orchestra. And then I would watch the orchestra. But that's a testament to how sort of seamless the experience was, that you could just get lost in the film. And I had to, bring myself out of it every now and then, because I like watching the orchestra. I like watching them make this incredible music right in front of me. It was phenomenal. And then after that, I had to hang Taylor over to central London, because there was an event going on at NPeel, and I've already posted about NPeel on some of my other social media channels, and yeah, they're basically a luxury cashmere brand, and they have partnered up with the James Bond brand, and they're releasing a new exclusive line of really high quality, high end clothing, and that was a really great experience. Again, there were lots of Bond folks there, great to talk to and see again and meet for the first time. So it was just a really, I had a pretty great global James Bond day. However, despite that, there were some quite obvious drawbacks to the day. I think that we'd all expected the No Time to Die teaser trailer to be released, because what better day to release it than James Bond Day? And it was long rumored that was going to be the day it was released, and it was not released. What we did get, however, was the teaser poster, which, and I've talked about this a lot on my Twitter already, so I'm sorry if I'm repeating a lot of information for the people who I've had discussions with on there, but yeah, didn't love it. Okay, I mean, to start with some positives, I like the colour. Because a lot of the Daniel Craig teaser posters tend to be very muted. It's a lot of greys and blacks, and I like that this one, he's stood in front of that colourful, I want to say teal turquoise. I'm not quite sure what the technical term for that particular colour is, but I like that, and that colour is immediately quite striking and eye-grabbing. I also think that Craig looks pretty darn good in that tuxedo. He still very much looks the part. I've no qualms about, or quibbles about him still playing the role of Bond. I do not think he's too old for it. I think he looks phenomenal. However, it still was kind of like, if that image had just been released and the official channels had just put it out as look at this great new still from the the upcoming movie, I would have looked at it and been like, oh wow, yeah, that's really cool. I really like the look of this. Whereas, because they were releasing it as the teaser poster, to say it's the teaser poster brings with it a lot of expectations. And I know that some, the teaser poster perspective was literally just Daniel Craig stood with the holster on and, in front of a very blank background. So I guess we should be used to minimalist teaser posters at this point, but when we've already seen some of, the fan-produced teaser posters online, which have actually looked better, there was that great one where it was Craig in front of the Aston Martin in Whitehall, and there was just so much going on in the image. It was really cool. I love you can see the Union Jack in the background. It's just Craig looking phenomenal. It's got the Aston Martin there. It just looks really cool. And this one, there's just not enough going on. I can't imagine that many people will be getting that poster and putting it up on their walls. And this is coming from someone who, the poster that's been behind me in my videos for ages is the IMAX Skyfall poster, which is very minimalist. It's Aston Martin in the front, Craig stood there, black and white, you've got Houses of Parliament and Big Ben in the background. It's really simple stuff, but very striking and iconic. There's just something about this one that, I don't know, the colour attracts your eye immediately, I think. And I like that they have that colour in there, but otherwise, especially the fact that we never got the teaser poster later, we didn't get the teaser trailer further on in the day, was just kind of, a bit of a disappointment that this was the big thing. I just wish that they'd released it as just hey, here's a cool new still, rather than, hey, here's the teaser poster. But I really just can't complain about my experience of James Bond Day at all. Going to see Skyfall in that environment was just phenomenal. And then meeting all the, the Bond folks who I've met before, and having that, event at NPL was really cool. So I was satisfied overall with how I spent my global James Bond day, but this still does beg the question of when are we going to get that teaser trailer? I'm guessing it's gonna be sometime, maybe this month, next month. I mean, it has to be at some point. They have to start generating hype for this thing at some point, which brings me to my next point of order, that I'm going to be fairly muted on my social media and YouTube presences for the next couple of weeks. So if the trailer does drop, I will try my best to cobble together some kind of reaction video. I might be en route somewhere, I might be in a bit of a weird location, but I'm going to try my best, because I would really like to do what I did for the Spectre trailer and do a live reaction thing, so not even watch it before I record the video and just do immediate thoughts. But yeah, basically, it's my birthday coming up. I'm going to be 30 years old on October 14th, a birthday that I shared with Roger Moore. And so I'm going away for a couple of weeks, traveling around. Going to Iceland is part of my travel itinerary, which I'm really looking forward to. Unfortunately, I don't think I will be able to visit any of the Dine of the Day filming locations, primarily because the icy lake that they filmed that car chase on is not going to have iced over. So I will not be driving my rental car across the icy plains, much like Pierce Brosnan did in Dine of the Day, but maybe that's for the best. So yeah, I won't be posting too much over the next couple of weeks, but if you want to keep up to date with my non-Bond related travels and comings and goings, then please do follow me on Instagram and Twitter. I tend to post more sort of like, I post a lot of Bond stuff on there, Bond opinions, but I post a lot of my own, like, just like what I'm doing in my life, sort of stuff on those channels, so do follow me on there if you're interested to know that I'm still alive in the next couple of weeks. And then when I get back, I will be getting right back to it. Got reviews of Colonel Sun, unauthorized biography by John Pearson, Now with the Golden Gun, and the PlayStation 1 version of The World's Not Enough game. Reviews of those I'm going to try and get out at some point before Christmas. So the only thing that's left to be said, really, is that I kind of want to know about what you guys all did for James Bond Day. If you were, did you have your own little movie marathon at home? Or were you at Skyfall live in concert? I was at the matinee on Saturday, and I know that they had other screenings on either side of that on the Friday and later on in the Saturday. So, what did you guys get up to? I'm curious to know. And until next time, Bond fans, so long for now.